The library was silent, its vast halls filled with towering bookshelves and the faint scent of old paper. Olivia worked there, carefully arranging books on the shelves and keeping the place tidy. She was 20 years old, a bright and beautiful young woman with a passion for literature. One ordinary afternoon, a strange-looking old man entered the library. He wore oversized glasses that magnified his eyes and seemed to be searching for something. Olivia watched him curiously as he wandered through the aisles until he finally stopped and pulled out an ancient book. It was so old that its pages were moth-eaten, the cover faded and worn with time. Olivia had never seen anyone take that book before, not even herself. Her curiosity piqued, she hid behind a nearby shelf and observed the man closely. He sat down and read intently, his eyes scanning the pages without pause. Hours passed, and Olivia, exhausted from watching him, took a short nap. When she woke up, the man was gone. However, the book remained on the shelf, untouched. Driven by curiosity, Olivia approached the book and carefully opened it. To her surprise, she discovered that the center of the pages had been hollowed out to form a hidden compartment. Inside, nestled within the book, was an antique watch. It was unlike any watch she had ever seen. Instead of displaying the time, its screen showed the number 3. On the back of the watch was a black button. Intrigued, Olivia pressed the button. The watch changed, now displaying the number 2. Excited yet cautious, she pressed it again. The number shifted to 1. Taking a deep breath, she pressed it one more time. The watch now showed 0, and suddenly, words appeared beneath the number. Time to go back. Before Olivia could comprehend what was happening, the watch began to glow. A blinding light engulfed the room, intensifying until she could see nothing but white. A loud noise echoed through the library, and then, darkness. When Olivia opened her eyes, she found herself lying on the floor. But something was different. The library around her had changed. The bookshelves looked older, the furniture antique. As she stood up, her eyes fell on a poster hanging on the wall. It read, "Victorian-era City." Her heart pounded. Had she really traveled back in time? The watch must have sent her 150 years into the past. Panic surged through her. She was in the same place, but in a completely different era. Trembling, she stepped outside. The streets were bustling with people dressed in Victorian attire. Men wore top hats and long coats, while women walked in elegant gowns with bonnets. The buildings were different, the air thick with the scent of coal and horse-drawn carriages clattering down the cobblestone streets. Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes. She felt lost, terrified, and utterly alone. She ran down the street, desperate to find someone who could help her. In her frantic state, she accidentally collided with a man. "Oh dear lady, are you all right?" he asked, steadying her with his hands. Olivia looked up into a pair of kind, warm eyes. "Please help me," she sobbed. "Calm down," the man said gently. "Tell me what happened." "My name is Jack." "What's yours?" "Olivia," she whispered. "I don't belong here. I'm from the 21st century." Jack stared at her in disbelief before chuckling. "That's quite a tale, Miss Olivia." "I'm not joking. Look at me. Do I look like I belong here?" she snapped, frustrated. Jack examined her modern clothes and unique hairstyle. She was nothing like the women of his time. Slowly, realization dawned on him. "All right," he said, lowering his voice. "I believe you. But you must be careful. If people find out, they might capture you. We need to blend you in. First, we must get you proper clothing." Jack took Olivia to a nearby shop where she changed into a Victorian dress. She felt strange but knew it was necessary to stay safe. Jack also advised her not to speak too much in public since her accent and manner of speech were unusual. If anyone asked, he told her to say she was his fiancée to avoid unwanted attention. They spent the day together, and Olivia quickly grew comfortable with Jack. He was kind, intelligent, and genuinely cared about her well-being. He took her to a park, where they shared stories about their worlds. Olivia described technology, universities, and modern life, while Jack talked about the monarchy, old traditions, and the beauty of the past. Time passed quickly, and for a moment, Olivia forgot about everything. She was happy, laughing and walking beside Jack as if they had known each other forever. That night, Jack took Olivia to his home, a small but cozy house. He showed her a room where she could sleep, and for the first time since arriving, she felt safe. The next morning, Jack prepared breakfast. Olivia was amazed by his cooking skills and enjoyed the meal. They spent the day together again, exploring the town. Jack took her on a boat ride, and as they drifted on the water, he took her hands in his. "Olivia," he said, looking into her eyes. "Meeting you has been the most wonderful thing in my life. I know we come from different times, but I love you. I want to spend my life with you." Tears filled Olivia's eyes. "I love you too, Jack. But my family, my world is waiting for me." Jack gently wiped her tears. "Then we'll find a way to send you back." "Where is the watch?" Olivia gasped. She had lost track of it. "It must still be in the library." "Then let's find it," Jack said firmly. "But I won't let you go alone. If you leave, I want to come with you." They rushed back to the library and searched every corner. At last, Olivia found the watch, still lying in the hidden compartment of the book. She held it tightly and explained how it worked to Jack. Together, they gripped the watch, and Olivia pressed the button. The light exploded around them once more. Jack held Olivia's hand tightly, but the brightness overwhelmed them, and their grip loosened. Another loud noise followed, and then, darkness. When Olivia opened her eyes, she was back in the 21st century library. But Jack was gone. "Jack! Jack!" she screamed, searching desperately for him. Her parents arrived at the library, relieved to find her after searching for 2 days. They took her home, but Olivia was devastated. The next morning, she rushed back to the library, hoping to find Jack. He was nowhere to be seen. The watch was gone. A painful realization hit her: Jack was still in the past. Desperate, she recalled Jack's full name and birth date. She hurried to the cemetery, carrying a single rose and flowers. The caretaker guided her to a grave with the name Jack Wilson. Her breath hitched as she saw the birthdate matching Jack's. Tears streamed down her face as she knelt by his grave. "Jack, I love you," she whispered. "You are my first and last love. I will never love anyone else." As she dug a small hole to plant the flowers, her fingers brushed against something solid. Pulling it out, she gasped. It was the watch. Smiling through her tears, Olivia held the watch close to her heart. "Jack," she whispered. "I found it. I will come to meet you again. This time, we will be together forever."